What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Movie Pod. Now, my name's Isaac. You guys already know. I'm joined by the co-host of the Movie Pod, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited.
Excited.
Until you showed me, and until we had a look see at what we're doing tonight. But yeah,
Yes. So tonight's
yeah.
episode, we had a fun episode last night. We talked about Ahsoka. We're talking about the other Disney Plus TV show, The Acolyte, which the creator of the show, Leslie Headland, she's a massive Star Wars fan. Apparently, she was going on about a Star Wars Celebration. With The Acolyte, the concept of the show, the leaks we've got, is incredible. The concept of the Sith still being in the shadows. This is set in the High Republic era. This show, The Acolyte. So, like 200 years before the Phantom Menace, Plagueis is around, I believe. Plagueis is definitely around. And what I always said was, we get season 1. End of season 1, we get Plagueis tease. Season 2, we have Plagueis, right? A story about Plagueis. End of season 2, Palpatine is born. Season 3 is Palpatine and Plagueis. Season 4 will then lead right out of the High Republic era into the Republic era, and it ends with Palpatine killing his master Plagueis. The tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. We see it happen, although I would like to see it in a movie. But that would be my dream for The Acolyte, for it to go on that storyline.
And then a post-credit scene of at Qui-Gon's funeral, and it's Palpatine coming up to little Anakin.
Yes.
And that's just the post-credit scene, and then it just cuts, and it's like
because we know Palps did mentor Anakin a little bit, and went it from a young age. Oh my god, that would be sick, alright?
It would be.
The concept of The Acolyte is sick. However, from the start, I've had my doubts about it, just because of the creator and writer of the show. And this video clip, courtesy of Star Wars Theory that we're about to watch, backs up everything in my mind and all my warnings I've been giving myself about the show. I've been very cautious of it from the start, just because of this Leslie Headland. She claimed to be this fan. I was talking to Star Wars Sith about this a while ago, and I'm like, I don't know about that Leslie Headland. I'm a bit worried about what she can do with the brand, with Star Wars, especially, The Acolyte being such a big story, with the Sith and Jedi kind of in their prime, the High Republic. And then he was like, because he was there when she was at Celebration, he listened to her when she was on stage, and he's like, nah, dude, she seems like a legit Star Wars fan. I am so hyped. So that, kind of relieved me a little bit. I'm like, okay, maybe she's not so bad. But this clip, I will say, it's taken 4 years ago. She said this in 2019. However, this is the year she got hired. This is the year she got hired to write The Acolyte for Lucasfilm, alright? So keep that in mind. As she's saying this, she was just hired. So let's watch the clip. I'll share it on my screen, courtesy of Star Wars Theory.
This is like what we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that like that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that like when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie, that's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people, and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the answers? And the truth is that nobody does, and anybody that says they do is lying. This is like,
okay,
what
so
we understand.
Let's break that down. She goes into saying George Lucas is not the only one who holds the key to creating Star Wars stories. Yes, that is true, and I believe, there are many other talented people out there that could create Star Wars stories. Anyone we've really seen lately is George Lucas, Gareth Edwards as well, and the writers of Rogue One. That was a good story. Tony Gilroy, who did Andor, also Rogue One. He knows how to write a story. Andor is a fantastic spy thriller story. I just don't like it as a Star Wars show. I'm not into that genre. Andor was a spectacular show. shot.
We absolutely I understand the appeal to Andor, like,
Yeah.
and why it's so well received. It's just
It's branded
it
as
comes
Star
so
Wars.
personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's branded as Star Wars, and I just don't see many Star Wars elements throughout it. So we
Besides
have
the small Easter egg that they throw at us, like the
yeah,
holocron and
the
stuff like that.
Starkler's literal helmet.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And you'll confirm Starkiller and Ahsoka.
I was
Sorry.
literally about to bring that. Like, what if Starkiller lost his helmet, and that's why it's in that shop in Andor, and then he gets the new one, which is the one we see in Ahsoka. Anyway, we're not talking about that. That would have been a good thing to bring up last episode. So we have George Lucas isn't the only one who can make Star Wars stories. There's other people out there,
No.
but George Lucas is the one who holds the key to creating the knowledge and the lore of Star Wars. He's the creator.
And to argue this again, and to argue this more, he lost Disney in 2012, right?
Yeah,
Was it?
2012.
We had, yes, he was still you could argue he was still the producer of it, but we did have the Clone Wars movie and also TV show being on through then already. So it's not as if, and he wasn't doing every single episode.
He was a big part of the Clone Wars.
He was a big part of it, but he wasn't
behind Dave. But yeah, and then same with the Rebels, more Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his thumb hasn't been. Yes, it's been like on everything, but he hasn't been the only person to do Star Wars. We did have the 2003 the Clone Wars, like that that 2D animated
2D. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, if you want to consider the games canon, in which
they were when Disney took over.
They were.
They're part of the EU.
They were.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's over dramatic on how much people think that he, like, it kind of makes him sound like a tyrant, where if it's not his way, it's no way.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the case.
No. It's just he obviously whatever he does, and how I see it is whatever George Lucas makes Star Wars, then that is instantly correct, instantly what Star Wars is, instantly, because he's the creator of it. He can come up with anything because he's like the god of that universe. However, when people like Disney come in and make stories, I don't believe they can just make anything because they're not the god of the universe. They didn't create it, so they have to follow on what has already been created, and which they did not in the sequels. They broke a lot of canon.
Yeah,
TV shows.
If Kevin Feige leaves the MCU and then all of a sudden, I don't know, Captain America's back, or they just break canon and do something like that, then it's the same story.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
And could you imagine the uproar? Could you imagine the hatred that people would have if they did that? Where Kevin Feige leaves, like the big guy. You could argue the Russo brothers, or maybe Jon Favreau with Iron Man. Like whatever the case may be. If it was Marvel, for instance, people would be going crazy about it. But it's just because it's
and
like if the tables were turned, it'd be
I agree. And so I'm not mad at her for saying George Lucas isn't the only one who holds the key to Star Wars. Yes, I agree with that, but he holds the key to creating the knowledge, if that makes sense. And then other people can still go out and expand on his knowledge. But what really
there's a
gets
difference
me-
between expanding and changing.
Yeah, what really gets me
And
is
I
this
think
bit.
the prequels are.
So, when she
And
says
that's the
George Lucas
key.
isn't the only one who holds the key to Star Wars,
For what we understand to be.
George Lucas is not the only one who holds the key to what we understand to be Star Wars.
Is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that.
And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. Straight away, she's shitting on the prequels when her show is directly what comes before the prequels and what leads into the prequels. Bit iffy, okay.
I mean,
let's keep watching.
the idea that like
Good way to start.
when you're hiring a director that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie.
I don't know if she's trashing on Ralph McQuarrie here. I can't really tell by the way she's saying it.
That's the problem.
That's the misogyny. Okay, so I get that. So
The-
what?
for
Because George Lucas hired a male concept artist, Ralph McQuarrie, one of the most talented concept artists and artists in the whole world. May he rest in peace as well. Passed away just before Lucasfilm was sold to Disney in 2012.
Lucky him.
Yeah, that's the
Sorry,
misogyny.
that was bad.
So that's the misogyny. That's the misogyny because George Lucas hired a male artist. That's misogyny. Maybe I don't know what misogyny means. Let me see.
Is it also racist that he was white? Like,
Yeah, well, apparently misogynistic. So, what is it? What is it? Let's see. Google, good old Google. Because maybe I'm mistaken. Misogyny is the hatred of or prejudice against women. It is a form of sexism that is used to keep women at a lower social status than men, thus maintaining the social roles of patriarchy. Okay, that's exactly what I thought it was. So because George Lucas hired a male that's sexist, that's misogynistic, what? So what, are we just not meant to hire any males? Maybe I'm taking this out of context, but that is what I gather from that. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
it's
I don't want to sound sexist, but I'm at this time I am not watching The Acolyte. I am not going to support what she is making, even if The Acolyte is the best Star Wars content we have got since 2005. I am not going to watch that show just in spite of Leslie Headland disrespecting George Lucas and coming up with he's misogynistic. She's one of those people, okay? Like, yes, I think women should be included in stuff, but he's just hiring a concept artist and a storyboard artist to create the scenes for his. What's the problem?
Whatever
that's the
gender or sex that they identify as shouldn't have any correlation to the job, and it had no correlation. I truly don't believe that George Lucas hired him because
back then he didn't.
He was a man.
No, he just thought that he was talented and could do the job well, so we hired him. Freaking the person who edited the original trilogy is a woman, George Lucas's wife. That was the woman who edited this original trilogy. Some people
Kathleen
believe
Kennedy, who was his best friend, who he sold Star Wars to, like made sure that she was in charge of Star Wars.
He told Bob Iger that if he sells Lucasfilm to Disney, he told Bob Iger, who was the CEO of Disney at that time, currently still is, he told him, I will only go through with this purchase if Kathleen Kennedy is the president of my company.
Yeah.
But that's the misogyny.
How about the fact that he made that Leia in the 70s and 80s, well, more so the 80s, was up there with one of the most influential women of her time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
She was a badass princess who didn't get pushed around.
The main character.
And he wrote her.
The main character of his two trilogies is two males. Oh, sorry. Anakin and Luke's fault. All Anakin and Luke's fault. Like, no, back then, George Lucas did not give a shit. No one gave a shit. I don't give a shit. I just want a good story. I don't care if freaking Anakin Skywalker was a giraffe. His story is incredible.
That'd be a sick story. Can we do a fanfic on that?
Oh my god. Anakin Skywalker's story from 1 to 6 is incredible. That's why so many people love the character, love Star Wars, because it's so well written and thought out, and it's just a good damn story. It's not because he's a man, I'm automatically gonna like it. No, I love Leia. Ahsoka Tano, I love Ahsoka. Literally, Ahsoka is a female-centric show, and it's literally, the stars of it is Sabine, Ahsoka, Hera, 3 women, and that's the thing I'm most looking forward to in Star Wars that has been announced. apart from Dave Filoni's movie, which is also Ahsoka as the lead, Sabine, Hera, Leia's gonna be in it, all these people. Okay, no, like, dude, my most hyped up thing for Star Wars is a female-centric show. I don't care that they're female. I don't care that they're male. I care if it's a good goddamn story. You're not misogynistic for hiring a male concept artist.
You're Ralph McQuarrie. That's the problem. That's
the misogyny.
It's-
and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands.
It's
because they're not thinking this is the
kind
person that will
of
hire the
defamation
right
to his
people,
name. It's
and this is the
tarnishing
person
his
that will be
name.
able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking,
Like,
do you know?
it's
Do you
it's
have all
it's
the
an
answers?
unnecessary
And
shot
the truth
that
is
she
that
took.
nobody does, and anybody that says they do is
And
lying.
clearly, it's being dredged up, and it's going
Not for
to impact
McQuarrie.
her
Yeah, I'm
for it.
I've seen a lot
And
of
then
people.
she will then probably blame, if not her, then the rest of the company will then blame a lot of other people, like men, for it, because
if the Acolyte does bad numbers, she will go out and she'll blame the misogynistics. She'll blame the misogynists because the Acolyte is going. I'm sorry to say it. I hate saying this word, but looks like it's going to be a woke show just from the vibe she's giving off. You know, the thing is, see, some people take this out of context. Woke. See, with Rey in the sequels, Rey was not a good character because they pushed a female character out. They tried to make, they pushed a female character out. They made her instantly powerful. Literally no story. She literally, Rey had no depth as a character. That is why a lot of people don't like her. It's not because she's a female. No. I love females, dude. Though. Like what? I just don't understand it. The thing is, they fail when they try, and they're doing it wrong. They fail when they try to make it inclusive. Don't try, just do it. There is no try. There's only Yoda's quote. There is no try. Do or do not. There is no try. Literally,
we got that.
literally, like, just. You don't have to try to do it. Just do it. Just do it. I didn't even mean to do that. But just create a good damn story and people are going to love it. Ahsoka is a female character and her story across Star Wars animation, across Star Wars is one of my favorite stories in Star Wars from the Clone Wars
It's a
movie
lot of people's.
until, and she's a female, dude. Like, it's like we don't care if it's a male, if it's a female, if their skin color is purple or freaking green, Yoda, white, black. I don't care. I care if it's a good goddamn story. And I'm sure there are people out there. There are racists in the world. There are sexists in the world. I understand that. That's a small minority of people that are like, oh, that guy's black. I don't like this. Oh, she's a female. I want men. There are those type of people out there. But the majority of us just want a good goddamn story to entertain us. And
there's no need to bring politics into it.
Exactly, and that's their problem, dude. Is they do that way too much now, especially with the Star Wars brand, way too much, and it just fails them. It fails them miserably.
Yeah.
You know, with Reva, they wanted to squash a black female into it. I don't have a problem with that. I could not care less, as I said. It's just her character was not written well, which is why people didn't like the character. Now, I know people, hated on Moses and Graham, and they definitely shouldn't have it. It's never the actor's fault, and I don't agree with them.
No.
But the majority of us who don't like the character is because she isn't written well. She's not a good character, not because she's a female or that she's a black female. No, dude, no. Literally no. Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka Tano, is black. Mace Windu, he is black. Like, it's...
Yep.
And
I go back to this. Like, Leia, in the 80s, mind you, 40 years ago,
Lando
again.
Calrissian, bro.
Loved character. Padme. Loved character. Like, it's forced.
It
And
is forced now.
they say it's too bring attention to the problems, but you don't address the problems. You shove a big poster in the middle of it and then expect people to read into it as if it's a full-size book. But
So,
you shove the problem. You shove what people what you want people to see, but then you don't explain to them what they need to do to fix it. You say that there aren't enough women in big time movies. Sure, put them in there, but then you write the character poorly, or
exactly.
black characters. You put colored characters in movies, but then you won't address the problem. And then if you do, you go about it and it ruins the entire show or the movie or whatever the piece of media is. There's if you're gonna do it, don't do it in jeopardy of the content that you're making.
When you're writing the character, don't have in your mind, it's a black female, it's a black person, it's a female. Don't have that in your mind. Just you're writing a goddamn character. Use that. That just kind of proves yous are the racist ones and the sexist ones. If yous are like, okay, it's a black female, it's a black person. We need to make this good. Just write the goddamn character. Just write the goddamn character well. It's yous know how to write characters, because we've seen it. So what she is saying. I'm not watching the Acolyte, which is a shame because that show could have been really cool. But I'm not gonna support, even if the Acolyte's cool. Then that's great. That's great. If you all think it's cool, it probably could be very cool. It could be amazing. But I don't care. I'm not gonna support something. I'm not gonna support this person right here. I'm not gonna support Leslie Headland. And the fact that Lucasfilm hired someone who publicly said this as well, like, it's just beyond me. Like, this was the same year she got hired to write The Acolyte for Lucasfilm. I just, they're saying this about the founder of that company, about the creator of Star Wars. He's a misogynistic and sexist. No, George Lucas, back then, nobody cared about, like, movie characters, gender, or race. They just wanted a good story, man. And it's a shame Hollywood has turned to that, where good stories just don't exist. It's just, trying to be culturally accepted and culturally, inviting and try to be inclusive, which I'm all for. Everyone should be included in everything. But don't force it. Just write the character. Write the character without choosing their race or race, maybe. If you want to, be inclusive with that, which I definitely think you should be. Just write the character, then say, okay, it's a cool character. Let's make this person black, this person white. 50-50 it, for God's sake. Put it in a random wheel generator thing. Just make your characters good. Make the character good. We love the character for the character's journey, for the character's story, not for the color of their skin, dude. No, if Anakin was black, I would still love Anakin. If Luke Skywalker is my favorite character in all of Star Wars. If he was black, he would still be my favorite character. If he was
even if he was
purple,
even if he was female, even if him and Leia changed roles and Leia was in Luke's position, it wouldn't have mattered.
No, because it's a well-written, amazing character. Like, dude, like, I just, man, this makes me pretty angry, and it's a shame that
This is like
from the start, she kind of, I don't know, her whole vibe. This was like, I don't know, man. I just always felt fishy about the show. I was always hyped for it though, but I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this Leslie Headland chick. And, well, point proven. And this, I know she said this in 2019, but she hasn't, she still said this the year she got hired for Lucasfilm. I'm not gonna be supporting her show if she's saying this, man. Out of the line. How's he misogynistic for hiring?
Definitely.
How's he misogynistic, Leslie? Please give us the answer. But that's enough rant for that. I know there's a lot of stuff I've definitely probably left out that I wanted to say earlier, but I forgot. I know some people are going to be triggered because some people are just really clueless on this kind of stuff and just think, oh, if you don't like character, then you're automatically sexist or racist. Nah, man, nah. Like, just shut up. Just shut up. I like the character if they're well written, or not. Like, just shut up. But anyway, guys, comment down below if you disagree, agree with us. Although, we know Star Wars Theory posted this clip and went absolutely viral. But our Theory gets a lot of hate, right? But a lot of people that usually hate on him were agreeing with him on this situation, which is good to see. And it's good that people aren't that clueless and actually realize that George Lucas is not misogynistic for hiring a male concept artist, storyboard artist. Like, no, dude. He's Ralph McQuarrie, probably the greatest concept artist ever to walk on this earth. So yeah, I don't know. Leslie Headland, well out of line then. And anyway, that's our little rant. I get fired up about this stuff because it's just stupid. But anyway, you guys have a good night. Let us know what you think about all this, and if I left anything out, I will reply to you guys' comments if you have any questions. If you think a point I made was stupid or you want me to elaborate or something, I sure will do it. But yeah, it's like 10 p.m. right now, so brain is switching off. But yeah, Leslie Headland, fix up your game if you want people to be watching your show, because I've seen a lot of people saying they're not watching it now, and I'm one of those. Until maybe you change your ways, you apologize to George. I don't know, but do something. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think of all this, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Movie Pod. Alright, bye-bye.
Bye bye.